Okay, so today we don't have our usual equipment, but it's the first day of Tevis and the first day of January. No, it's okay.
My father's your son.
Oh. Should have Elias Nisham. What's his name?
David ben Menachem. David ben Menachem Mendel.
David ben Menachem Mendel. You brought some you weren't into it.
No, we do it. I would have.
Okay. So we're looking now at the very important. We said this is the most difficult Kabbalistic part, and it has to do with how the Ari learns it from the Tefillin. So we said yesterday that there's two important parts in the Tefillin. This is what God says to put on your forehead, between your eyes, which we say is up here. And then there's what Moshe Rabbeinu saw when Hashem passed over him with the 13 principles of mercy. And there, the sages say that he told him, the Torah says he told Moses, you'll see my backside, but you won't see my front side. And the sages say that what he saw was the backside. I mean, that itself already is indicative, but that he saw the knot of the tefillin, of the head tefillin behind. So we have this connection between the back of the nape of the neck and the forehead. And we said the forehead all the time. That's what we've been talking about, is netzach, right? Mitzcha is the netzach. That was from the Ramak already, but Reed takes it further. So now he says, V'chen hu, ukmo shu b'nefesh lemata kenu mamash lemala bezun. In the same way that here below Amalek is standing in between the mind and the heart, preventing the mind from exercising its innate power over the heart, so it is above. And how does that work? In Zun. In Zun are like the form, the image of man above. So we know that the father and mother principles, the parzufim of father and mother, they give the mind to Zah, to Zeir Anpin. In the same way that parents give their mind to their children, except that they can't give their mind directly. But rather, the Chabad, the intellect, the mind of the father and the mother, first has to enclose itself in their nahi, in their three lower sfirot, which we said is like their actions, their habits, their nature. And Yisrael Saba and Tuna are here considered part of, we'll call it part of Abba and Ima. So like the lower parts of Abba and Ima. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah? ואומנם עניין ארבע בתי תפילין הם ארבע מוחין שבזה חוכמה ובינה חסד וגבורה. And then, how do they give him the mind? They give him the mind as the tefillin. So when we put tefillin on, it's like we're giving the mind of Abba and Ima to Zeir Anpin. In other words, we're investing ourselves with a higher mindset. And that's what the head tefillin are. So the head tefillin are divided into 4 compartments. Why 4 compartments? Because they correspond to the chokhmah and bina, to the wisdom and understanding of Zah, like us, as it were. Again, in a certain sense, we're donning the tefillin, but vicariously, it's like we're causing things to happen above. So above, Zah is receiving the mind, and he receives it in 4. He has 4 compartments, 4 brains, as it were. Left and right, chokhmah and bina, wisdom and understanding. Also, and 2 of them are also called chesed v'gvura. They're called loving kindness and might. And that presents a question. Why is it that it's chesed v'gvura? We'll see in a second. How can you say the chesed and gvura are mind, they're emotions? So how can loving kindness and might suddenly become Zah's intellect? In any case, it's called chesed v'gvura mishum she'adat ha'mulubash b'yisod ima. So he said that, here he said, Abba and Ima. No, it's okay. So the dat in Ima becomes divided into 2 when it goes into her yesod. Her yesod is like her womb. So it goes into her womb and becomes the loving kindness, and the might, which is really the dot, her dot. That's what it becomes divided into. So you could say that in the womb, there's two principles that the womb works by. On the one hand, it encourages certain things. On the other hand, it expels other things. So it's like a refinery for everything that goes into the fetus. There's certain things that it has to encourage and make grow, and that would be like its loving kindness and waters it. And on the other hand, there are certain things that it has to prevent, and that's its gvura, that's its might. And now, so it's נחלק לחסד וגבורה. והתחלקות זו היא על ידי קוצי דשרי דארי חנפין המכה בזה מאחוריו. And he says that this division into these two compartments, chesed and gvura, apart from the chokhmah and binah, is caused, and that's how the Ari says it, and he's based on the Idra. The Idra says this, and that's where the source is, that there are short hairs on the nape of Ari Chanpin. So it's not even Abba and Ima, it's coming from a higher place that's like makeh. It's striking them. It's striking in some way. Again, this imagery is very, very strange, but this is the Zohar's imagery. The Zohar says it strikes on Ima, and then it causes it to split into two and become Chesed v'Gvura. Sorry, he's not striking Ima. He's striking Za behind him. And this is actually the secret of the verse that says Shomer Yisrael. Right? What's Shomer Yisrael? What's the verse? So the first, what's the full verse? Shomer Yisrael. It's a verse. Did I write it down there? I hope I wrote it down.
I still have it. I know that's
And I wrote where it's from. Not even a source. Right. Okay. So what is this verse? So this verse is talking about that Hashem is the guardian of Israel. What's he guarding? How is he guarding? So what he's guarding is the edges, it says there in that verse. And the edges here, the same word as kotzim, the same like ketz, the end. Okay. So what's the verse there? I don't remember. Shema Yisrael. What do you mean? Hinei lo yamunum v'lo yishan. He doesn't sleep, he doesn't slumber.
right.
What do you mean? Doesn't sleep and doesn't slumber? So the sages in the Gemara, they talk about this. They want to understand. What do you mean? He doesn't sleep, he doesn't slumber. So they say this is one of the songs that they used to say in the Beis HaMikdash, that the Levim used to say this in the Beis HaMikdash, and then they stopped. Why did they stop saying it? Because people said, what do you mean? There's a Hava Amina, there's a reason to say that he does sleep. There is such a thing that he sleeps. What is that? So they stopped saying it. Instead, so they put it aside. What's the idea? It's like the nape. It's something behind you that you can't be totally conscious of. If you say it too consciously, then you've got a problem. Then you have all these questions in religion. What do you mean God sleeps? What?
You went sleep.
Yeah. I didn't think of that. That was actually the morning before. I was learning it very deeply in the Zohar and in the Arizal. So he took the wheel. So very good. It's worth it preparing this year. It saves lives. So what's the opposite of slumbering? Waking. How do you say to wake up? La'kitz. So the Zohar connects the la'kitz to these small hairs. He says really what these small hairs do is like they're responsible for some kind of wake up. They cause you some. So when I was thinking about it, one of the things that came up was when you feel. Now I lost the word in two languages. Tzmarmoret. When you have tzmarmoret is you suddenly get this tingling in your spine. For most people, I don't know if for everybody, for me, it very much strongly starts here. Like I feel it from the nape, and under those hairs. And when I was younger, now I'm not as sensitive. But when I was younger, when I would come back from the barber, I would get a real big kick out of like moving my hand up these small hairs, and they're not like the little hairs everywhere else. They're actually hairs. They're very strong. There's a lot of strength in them, and when you move your finger up them, you get a tingling. So apparently, this is the wake up. So that's I guess what they're talking about. That there's something that wakes you up suddenly. So this is protecting you so that nothing happens to you. So you're protected. And this is causing, he says, the mind of Zah to split now into Chesed and Gvura. But in any case, we'll see in a moment what it means that it splits into Chesed and Gvura. But the most important thing is that it's guarding him. So what do you mean it's guarding him? We said that Amalek, where does Amalek attack you? On the neck. So he says those hairs there are to wake you up. So another way of looking at it is that Amalek comes from the Achoraim, we said, right? All those are in your backside. So what does it mean that they're in your backside? So this is the famous, very well known, that if you look at someone at the back of their neck, they turn around. What is that? So those are those little hairs that are waking the person up that there's some kind of danger. It's a physical counterpart. Is it 100%? Does it work? It's not. There's something there. That's everything in the Kabbalah is like, what is this? They're like asking, what is this strange thing that we see in people? First of all, that you get this tingling, and secondly, that you have this alarm system. Where does this come from? So I said, this is the physical remnant of something spiritual that's much stronger, and in the spiritual realm, it's protecting you from Amalek, who's coming from behind. Well, what does he want to do? The main thing he wants to do is disconnect your